Hello and welcome to a new episode of Connected from Home, where we choose to stay safe yet refuse to be disconnected. We connect with interesting people from all around the world, get to know more about them, seek inspiration, and have fun. The outbreak of COVID 19 has changed a lot of things dramatically: education, businesses, mindsets, and much more. And this is when you need coaching. We'll discuss all of that today with coach and trainer Samira Alibaba. Hello, Samira, and welcome to this episode of Connected from Home. We're very glad to have you as a guest with us today to tell us more about mentoring and coaching. Let's start with what is the importance of coaching and why does everyone need coaching?
All right. Hello, Hiba. Thank you for inviting me to this lovely show. To answer your question, let me ask you back. Were there time in your life where people or anyone told you that you cannot do something and you shouldn't do something, and you went and did it because deep down inside you felt this is the right thing to do? Did that happen?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Instinct. Yes.
So the entire school of coaching is partially built on this, that people are full, resourceful, and whole, creative. They don't need fixing. They just need a space to think clearly and take that decision. So each of us, we need that space. And that's why, partially answering that question, we need coaches.
Okay, so you coach people and you coach organizations on how to better perform, how to adapt to changes. Tell me more. When does an organization call you and tell you, Samira, we need you?
So most of these engagements are around change and shift and filling that gap, right? So when there is a movement happening, such as changing culture and system and policies, new recruits are coming in, people are leaving organization, there where the role of coach comes in. So what I work with, if I put it in a different way, I work with organizations and people to overcome their own self-built obstacles in order to achieve what they want. So that can happen with individuals, and because organizations are built of systems and individuals, so we work with that as well.
Can you share with us one of your latest experiences with an organization and how coaching changed?
Oh yeah, many. So without putting the names there because of the confidentiality, but I can give you the cases itself. There are organizations where I worked with when we had a layer of management who are going for their early retirement, and then we have layer of management who are as young as you, who are just coming in, team leaders and supervisors, and they needed a way for these people to transfer the knowledge to the other generation, the next managers, and that wasn't happening smoothly because of the way. And as you know, I wonder if you came across entire generation when they will tell you what to do, and then you come to an entire generation where they want to explore and decide what to do. So we wanted this part to talk this part's language.
You give a lot of trainings and online courses. Can you tell us what are the subjects of this training?
Oh yeah, so I know very few things in my life. Majority of things I don't master. So these few things that I would like to work with are coaching, so coach training programs. I do lots of coach training programs. So I'm talking about hundreds of people who graduate from our programs. The other one is I do lots of relevant skills programs to coaching and sales customer service. That's the area. So we are talking about communication skills, emotional intelligence, customer service, problem solving, creative thinking, and so on. And then I have a
Mm-hmm.
passion around the third area, which is teaching and training. So I do facilitation of learning courses. I am very curious about how learning have impact. So I'm very much interested in quality of education and training, of course. And that's it. Very few things I'm good at, and the rest I don't. I still don't know how to make pasta. Do you know that?
No worries. Maybe I can give you some coaching
Here
to
we
help you
go.
overcome your fears with the kitchen.
Thank you.
Yes. So, why did you choose this area of expertise?
Yeah. Uh, Customer service and sales came from my actual job. I'm a proud UOB graduate. So I've done my BS in marketing. So that was my passion. That where I understand how to sell ideas to people, how to create ideas that worth selling to start with. Then I
Mm-hmm.
went into the field of, I opened my own business at a certain point. It was one of the toughest thing I've done for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back into business, in business development and sales and customer service. And there where it was, the promised land. And then from there, from that time, I discovered coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an interesting area because I always wanted those times where people give me the space to think about my own destination.
Mm-hmm.
And coaching came there, and I said, wow, what if I worked in a place where I can come to people and say, you can and you have if you want.
Mm-hmm.
And that will
Okay.
be that will be a life-changing journey. Yeah.
Okay. Tell us more about Eye Reflex.
So I reflect. So this is actually quite relevant to what you asked. We usually are very we as human being and species we are very emotional,
Mm-hmm.
and we build our reactions and behaviors on impulses and triggers.
Mm-hmm.
If we trained ourselves well, we can actually think about our own thinking and our own triggers and behaviors, and we can talk to them, and then we can analyze where this come from and where we are going. So I was thinking that if I had a way to sit down and say, I had this conversation with Hiba, and then later on sit down and say, what was the conversation between Samira and Hiba as a third person looking at it? And
Yeah.
then what went well and what you learned from it and what you can do better. So
Mm-hmm.
do you see, like you have another person inside your head. Sometimes I
Yeah.
have a couple of them, but yeah, another person inside your head. So I
Yes.
decided to create I said, okay, I cannot just go and send people by voice notes like, hey, Beck, can you sit down and think about your thinking? I said, I can make a small little book. We don't sell them, we give them away to trainees. So it's not a promotion, it's something that I believe in. We have them free downloadable in our website as well. But what I'm trying to
Uh-huh.
say here is these books are a way for for you to sit down, and we have like 40, 50 questions in the back. You can pick any
Uh-huh.
question and just sit down and say, what do I think about my thinking in that specific area?
So we can call this a journey of a person discovering himself.
Yeah, coaching himself. So that's the ultimate goal of any coach, that you will enable people to start implementing coaching skills in their own normal life. They can sit down, they can talk to themselves, they can ask powerful questions, they can have more empathy with others without being judgmental, they can give a space for them and others. Right? So this is like a mini coach with you until you become your own coach.
How does a person make his maybe presentation or his online course interesting for both adults and kids?
I like that. I like that question. Are you a coach? No.
No.
Okay. So, online coaching for adults and kids, and adults are just bigger size kids, right? So,
I totally agree.
yeah. So there is some similarities. They are not same. They are similar, and
Hmm.
kids are also little adults, to be honest. So we cannot even downsize that as well. So
Yes.
the way I see it is, First of all, online sessions cannot go for long. That's rule number one. Keep it short, bite-sized, micro-learning.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you can send the students, the learners, the adults, whether it depends on the audience, whatever
Mm-hmm.
they can learn by themselves,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's an instruction um, video, whether it's a passage they need, whatever they can learn themselves, send it to them. So
Mm-hmm.
flipped classroom is the second approach. Micro
Mm-hmm.
learning, keep it short, small, simple, and simple but challenging. Not
Mm-hmm.
simple as easy, simple as
Mm-hmm.
still challenging. And then
Mm-hmm.
flip flip classroom, send them what you want them to do, and they can do it alone. When they are in the class, they will implement, and you guys will discuss and learn and debate.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
that's the thing. Use the time of the session to do the activity part of the
Mm-hmm.
learning, the active part of the learning. And how you can make it more relevant, gamify it. It's not actually making it so you're like full of games. What I mean is use game elements in your
Yeah.
courses. So there are points to be given, there are incremental challenge happening, there is competition part, and there are power-ups, and make it all. It's not only the sessions, so you build up, such as the student, if they read something, and then if they reflected, and then if they worked in a group on something else, and so on. So everything is built up like a game. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another approach you can do.
Yeah, that's great.
Try to take the learners into different journeys in different islands. It's like theme your sessions. Why not
Yeah.
to have today's session will be Hawaiian theme, or let's say let's come back to Bahrain. Let's make it Maharrigi theme. And,
Yeah.
and we will actually
Amazing.
do this specific training using a theme. Make it playful. What I mean is be creative with it. Let them live the journey for 90 minutes like they're watching an episode on a screen,
Yes.
right?
So what would you say to people, going through a rough time nowadays, through this COVID-19 era?
Well, that's a good question. Why would I say people? I don't know what I want to say to people. I would say, you know, go back inside, think for one more time what do you want for the coming 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, and the coming 25 years, and see the link between them. If you feel you're going in the right path, move on and be better. And if it didn't sink, maybe you need to sit down and think one more time. I believe in designing your life. So I believe in design thinking concept. I believe people need to treat their life as a canvas,
Mm-hmm.
and they have lots of ingredients. They need to sit down and decide whether what they're doing is in sync in who they are and who they are being. If it's fine, then excellent. If it's not, sit down and think one more time.
I'll ask you this question because I think that this can be the concern of so many people out there. How does a person know what he wants in life? Honestly,
Mm.
because I think that a lot of people are indulged in like working hours, doing everything, having this working routine, having, I don't know, this daily life routine, and they do not get the time to figure out what they actually wanted out of life. How
Yeah.
do you help those people out?
So first is I work around an area which, it's not that something you will discover, to be honest. And it's not like there is a one moment that you will say, ta-da, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. It doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a process you go through. So there is no one thing that you want in your life. There are multiple things that you can do throughout your life to live effectively, to live with an impact, to live in a way that you are content. Right? So there are things that you want. At the flip side of it, you need to know what are you good at. So there is something that you are extremely good at, and you feel good when you do it. All
Yeah.
right. So that's kind of like a default system.
And those are different, by the way. You can be
Yeah.
very good at something, but you do not enjoy it.
Yeah,
And you
that's
can
true.
be
And there is a third part of it if it comes to when people come and say, hey, shall I open my business because I love, collecting stamps? And I would say, so you're good at collecting stamps, you are enjoying it, and is there a market demand? So people sometimes misunderstand that I'm good at something and I love doing it, I need to turn it into a business, and that's not necessarily the case. It might be something good that you do to flow, and that's
Mm-hmm.
totally fine and accepted because we need that venting time. It can be
Mm-hmm.
as simple as drawing, walking, thinking, writing, reading, whatever it can be. And you cannot imagine what people do for the sake of flow. Uh, do I need to discover what I want to do, as you said? Yes, you need to discover, and it happens by time.
Mm-hmm.
So keep a good, close eye on what activities you do that you feel really in sync. You don't sense the time, so the
Mm-hmm.
time moves on, and you raise your head and say, "Oh my God, it has been 30 minutes already." Yes, it has been 30 minutes already,
Yeah. Yes.
and
Just like this one.
yeah, just like this one. And you, in that specific area, you are actually building that skill,
Mm-hmm.
incremental challenge. You read about it a lot. You are actually good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're lucky enough, that specific it is requested and there is demand for it in the market, and you're actually performing on the top 3% of the specialized people in that specific
Yeah.
area. So that's the, oh yeah, I wish my passion. And it can be, but not necessarily. You might be an excellent mother sitting at home, and that's the passion, and that's your life mission,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine, and that's extremely big.
Yes, I believe so. A round of applause for
Yeah,
that.
for all mothers. Yeah.
Yes. I know it's a hell of a journey for someone to become a coach. So you have, you don't know, you have come across a lot of quotes. Which one is your favorite?
Well, I have many, and uh, two of my favorite speakers are Sir Ken Robinson and Jim Rohn. So
Mm-hmm.
I can quote Sir Ken Robinson. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one of his famous quotes are, "See, if you're not prepared to be wrong, you will not come up with anything original," or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's telling us is we need to have that courage and be brave to be wrong sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the other emphasis is around being original. So creativity and being unique and different. Yeah. So yeah, that resonated with me.
Okay. Thank you very much for being with us in this episode of Connected from Home. We enjoyed having you and see you soon in real life.
Thank you. Take care, Eba.
Okay, thanks.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
This is the end of today's episode of Connected from Home. See you next week with new features and stories from all around the world.